Hey, what is up, everyone? Welcome to Market Psychology 101, where we look for value in the markets when there's fear and are cautious when there's greed. In today's video, we are going to be taking a look at the crypto that is available on Robinhood. There's about 14, 13 items. We'll try to fly through those as quick as we can. And starting off with Bitcoin. So, man, what a 24 hours Bitcoin has had. It has gone up, well, more than this. Let's zoom out a little bit. Bitcoin got to new all-time highs just above it and then sold off. And this sell-off from the new all-time high to the bottom was about 14%. So typically, when we've seen corrections since the most recent bottom in Bitcoin down here, these moves have been around 20%, as you can see right here. So we have not had a 20% move since here when we had the ETF approval. And, oh gosh, I clicked something. I clicked the wrong thing. Click, there we go. So as you can see right there, 21%. So at least on the weekly, and I like to start with charts by looking on the monthly, then the weekly, maybe the daily to see if a turnaround's is starting to form structure within the weekly. But at least on the weekly, we don't really see anything too concerning here. So if you are really excited and new to crypto, guys, I would caution you a lot on getting into crypto right now. I like to say time in the market's more important than timing the market. And the reason that is our greed is as high as it's been all year. Yesterday, it was at 90, which you can see that reflected up here. And over the last year, greed has been climbing. Now, I did a video yesterday showing cases on whether or not we may be getting into a blow off top, or maybe we're having a mid-cycle top. And I was leaning towards a mid-cycle top because Bitcoin dominance just hasn't shown that it's at the level that it needs to. When Bitcoin dominance, and this is the overall market cap, or not market cap, sorry, the overall percentage of money that's in crypto that's in Bitcoin, when it crashes down, the dominance percentage, that's when altcoins run. When it crashes, that's when altcoins run. Here we had the mid-cycle top where dominance was going up. What's dominance doing right now? Going up. It's not crashing down. And so I can show you where that looks like right here. This was that mid-cycle top that I showed you on the fear chart and where it was going up in dominance. This is a true top right here. So again, let me go back and show you. That true top, that was in here. But we peaked in dominance, we peaked in greed, stayed up there for a while, and then as we went down, the true top was later. When we spiked and went down, that was a mid-cycle top. So unless we start staying up here for a little while, at least a month or two, and unless Bitcoin dominance starts dropping like a rock, or maybe shoots up and then drops hard, unless dominance gets really volatile, I'm kind of leaning towards this being a mid-cycle top. Anyways, that's just it. This is a good thing to have in the back of your mind, because as we take a look at these altcoins, something to bear in mind is we might have some better times to buy coming up. Bitcoin and the price of it affects a lot of the altcoins out there, pretty much all of them. So as you can see here, these were the 20% drops we had, 20%. Trust me, these are all around from the high to low around 20%. So I'm looking for at least that. And guys, on the daily chart, look at this. We finally have a red signal. We have not had that since down here at around 51K at February 23rd, and even more before that. So it is normal to get green mixed in with red, and we have been mostly green lately. So of course it makes sense that that'll be balanced out. There's this trend line that we've been following up here that I'm wondering if we're going to run down to that 48,000 level. What size correction would that be if we did go down there? 28%, so maybe a larger correction. And there's a lot of structure there. There's a fib, there's support, and yeah, and also the trend line. So that's kind of one of my next targets. Of course, the fib first, then maybe around 53. Maybe we wick down the 48. If we do get down here, guys, if you are new to crypto or investing in general, I try to make things as simplified as I can and as stress-free as I can. If you aren't as excited to buy an asset, whether it be a stock or a crypto, when it's down here, if you aren't more excited to buy it down here than you are up here, investing may not be the right place for you. Trading may not be the right place for you. Sure, it's exciting to see our stuff going up, but if you are not feeling excited when it's lower, then that tells me whatever you're putting money into isn't something you like. It isn't something you believe in. And with stocks, I like to say it's something you use as well. So make sure that you are investing into something you like, believe in, and use. For crypto, I know we're not really using it as much outside of just transfer of wealth, basically. I've only seen the exchange machines in the ghetto and third world countries. That's just me being honest, not hating. I do see a lot of value in crypto. But as we go down, I know people want to be disheartened. Again, those can create good opportunities to buy. So just something to look for. Let's get started on looking at our altcoins. And so we are going to go to Ethereum, and let's go out on the weekly. And on the weekly chart, what do we see? We haven't had a buy signal since down here. And so we are extended from this moving average right here. It's possible if we do get a big dump off, maybe Ethereum's going to come back down to 29.51. I'm not expecting a massive quick sell-off all the way down to the 0.5 at around 26.79. But let's just say we have our standard correction. Even if we got down to 29.51, that would be fine. As you can see on the weekly, we don't have any signs of a reversal. We're still in a buy signal. So I would not be buying at yearly highs. Okay, I would wait for a sell signal to play out and then buy on the turnaround on a weekly buy signal. You can see here as we zoom in, what do we notice there? I talk about these long-legged dojis. Guys, those are important to keep an eye on, because when we have a long-legged doji, whether green or red, that usually can signal that there's a volatile move coming either way. So anytime you see those, just have that in the back of your mind. I would not doubt if on the weekly we get more of a correction than we do now. Maybe, we'll see. Next, let's go to Dogecoin. And Doge, man, Doge was running hard lately. It got up as high as, well, a little bit over 20 cents. Right now it went down to 16 cents. If we take a look at it in the past couple days, wow, 20 down to 12. People bought the dip on that one, and then back up to 15. So yeah, when it went down 8 cents, really not a bad time to buy. And as you can see, it tagged this lower end of this wick way back here. And where was that? March 3rd, so just a couple days ago. So as we zoom way out on Doge, this is on the daily. You can see we're just now starting to show a little red. Maybe it can come back down around this 13, 14 cent range, at least for the time being, unless something bigger is coming. So on the weekly, I don't buy anything unless I get a signal I like, at least on the weekly. I like to even start on the monthly. And as you can see, we had a monthly, or sorry, I'm still on the weekly. My God. Our weekly signal was around over here. Monthly was back here a little bit. So, and that's just one indicator, guys. Technical analysis is not everything. Don't just trust your whole plan to one indicator. Have a few go-tos that really help you out. So there are a variety of buy-sell signal indicators. I would wait for a sell signal to play out next and then buy the turnaround. Should we get something like a lower or a higher low, and then, yeah, maybe you can get some good prices somewhere between the 10 to 12 cent range. So if we just draw a fib from the, no, that's not the fib. Sorry, here we go. We just draw a fib recently, just from that low to the high. Then maybe I'd be looking around that 11 to 13 cent range. If something got down there, I think that wouldn't be a bad deal. So Let's move on to Shiba Inu. Okay, I know SHIB was just going nuts lately. Look at this. Last time I drew a fib, look at this. We were down like at least half of what it was. Let's measure that out, actually. So that was the top before, and we've gone up 211%. Wow, from from the top there. So that's pretty cool. So let's adjust this right here, and at least in this, by the way, it's measured from that low here. So SHIB, another one, or Shiba. So take a look at it. Bounced off that 0.5 in here and has come back up. Let's zoom in again. So that happened in this range here. And so sometimes going in on the smaller time frames to get a closer view at the fibs, it does help. So if you're able to catch it bouncing off the 0.5, that's good. It does look like it's maybe creating a lower high here. So if this comes back down, bounces here, then maybe you can catch it at the 0.5, at least for now. But again, I'd look for confirmation on the weekly at the very least to try to reduce some stress from the game. But if it comes back down here, I wouldn't doubt, seeing another bounce, and then it may go under again. We'll see. So just something to be aware of with SHIB. We haven't had a weekly buy signal since here. Maybe you believe this is just a minor correction and we're going to go parabolic to 120K Bitcoin. Sure, maybe. Why not? Guys, I don't know the future. That's something to be mindful of. That is entirely possible. However, I think I'm willing to be patient for some more deals. Again, market psychology, be cautious when there's greed. We were just, like I said, we're spiked in greed, and we have not been here since a mid-cycle top and before the true all-time high. Up here, by the way, this is when we broke the all-time high in late 2020. We broke the prior all-time high in 2017, and then we went up to further peaks. So unless we keep running up above the all-time high, it's not going to look like this on the fear and greed. It's probably going to look more like this. And even if we go from here, do be watching the dominance charts, tether dominance, Bitcoin dominance, and fear greed like a hawk. That'll tell you a lot what's going on. If it comes back up and it's staying up here, then I think maybe we are going to have a top. But again, try not to predict. Try to be able to react to the conditions and what they tell you. Next, let's go to AVAX. So AVAX, in the last 5 days, it just kept ranging, and it even came down here close to that fib. I probably didn't draw the fib perfectly. Maybe we'll see, but nearly came down to this level around 34. So if we zoom out, hit auto there. So AVAX overall doing pretty decent as far as not selling off, not doing anything too crazy. But what do we see there? We see a long-legged doji, and we also see the RSI, the strength, the relative strength index lowering. So maybe we'll see AVAX come down a little bit. You might be able to catch it at 29 if you're willing to be patient enough. But again, we got to see what Bitcoin's going to do. If Bitcoin just turns around and goes bullish, then hey, we've had a lot of time to accumulate AVAX. I mean, at least in the last 3 months, 3 months, it's just been going sideways. So if you like AVAX, you've done your research, you believe in it, I don't think it's the worst time to buy because it hasn't popped off yet. And should Bitcoin get a turnaround? Sure, why not? As you can see, the last buy signal over here wasn't too far down, $5, but maybe you believe AVAX can get to prior all-time highs and you can do something like a 4x off of it, something around there. Next, let's move on to Chainlink, which is right here. And Chainlink. So what do we see with Chainlink? So Chainlink, at least in the last 5 days, you can see even Chainlink's come down a little bit. Came down, bounced off that 17 range. It's coming back up. It's probably going to be testing these levels here, the high 19s. Maybe, the high 19s, the low 20s. See what Link does there. If it comes back down to around these 17s, not the worst area to buy, at least on the weekly. you'll see that we had buy sell signals here around $15 to $16. So if Link does rest back down here at around 16 and on this 20 MA, that might not be the worst time to buy, because should Bitcoin get a turnaround and we have a strong altcoin like Link resting right on or near the 20 MA, that tends to be a springboard for an asset to bounce really hard and fly off of. So just something to keep in mind. Yes, we do have some bearish divergence here, lower high on the RSI, higher high in the price. So maybe it's going to come down again. We could throw in volume charts as well. Let's take this out of here. Come on, let me exit that. Cool. Let's throw on a volume chart here. What do we see? Yeah, so volume supporting this as well, something from the 13 to 16 range. Maybe it'll get back down there. But if it did get lower, then next stop would be $9. So is Link going to get back down to $9? I don't know. Maybe. If this is a mid-cycle top, yeah, I could see it. And if Link got to $9, I'd have a hard time not buying some. Next, let's take a look at, well, let's exit this out. I'm going to try to fly through these now. Uniswap. And so that one made a new high recently. And let's throw on a buy-sell signal. Oop, wrong one. Let's throw on a buy-sell signal indicator. And yeah, we haven't had a buy signal since down here. We're still up here. So I would not be buying. Still, price is very elevated. Last 5 days as Bitcoin got to all-time highs. Look at this. Uni got to 14, sold down to 11. It's come back up. Yeah, we got to see how things will react here. But overall, guys, you could have bought any of these weekly buy signals in here and been doing good. That's why I say time in the market's more important than time in the market. I'm not buying here. I would be waiting for a sell signal to play out. And guys, again, if you are new to crypto and you started searching crypto videos, I'm probably going to be one of very few YouTubers to tell you you are coming in very late to the game and at a very risky time. Like I showed you, greed is at a high that's only been seen twice before. Either when we dump from a mid-cycle top, and I'll show you what that looks like on Bitcoin chart right here, or as we go into all-time highs. These are the two times greed was spiked. So are we here or are we here? The Bitcoin dominance is kind of showing that we're here. Tether dominance, if we stay on that line, maybe we're here. We'll see. If we break and stay above all-time highs, I'm going to start leaning towards that we're here and that Bitcoin dominance might move up for another month before running down and we go to the top. So I'm leaning here, but do know you are coming in at a very risky time. And right now, I would say you're educated gambling. So next, let's take a look at Bitcoin Cash. I don't want to steer you guys astray and get you all hyped up on stuff. I also don't want to FUD either. I just want to be straight in my analysis. Bitcoin Cash, man, this thing ran. So last time we talked about Bitcoin Cash, we noted that it hadn't made a new high like many other alts did since July of 23. And bam, look at that. We got up to 523. So good job if you got in on Bitcoin Cash as we were talking about it in here. You would have dang near doubled your money, gone from around 230, 240, and you're sitting high here. Now, could we come back down? Sure. If Bitcoin's going to get a 20% correction, then maybe you could look for Bitcoin Cash to settle in somewhere above the 0.5. And yeah, maybe we'll get a red signal, but would I be buying now? No. This is the time to buy, okay, when we get these green dots. That's one good way to simplify it. Plus, we're overbought on the RSI. So good job if you got Bitcoin Cash in here. Next, let's take a look at Litecoin. I have a better Litecoin chart. Where is it? Where is my... I'm not seeing it. Here we go. So Litecoin, I've talked about how, last bull run, yeah, it did get up to 380, 400, but it didn't go as parabolic as many people would have liked. However, you see this the lower trend line going up. And we've talked about how we've had buy signals down here. I said, hey, if you like Litecoin, not the worst time to buy. And I was saying that when we were in the high 60s, and it's gone up a little bit to 80. So would I be buying it now? No. You can see here we have a lot of structure. I would say that, if things are going to correct, again, maybe we'll get down to this mid-low 70s range, but something to look for on Litecoin. Ethereum Classic. Man, Ethereum Classic making new all-time highs. Or not all-time highs, sorry. New yearly highs too. You can see here, got up to 40, came down to 30. Ouch. So 25% out the window. Came back up. Looks like it's going to come back, rest around this fib. So if you really like Ethereum Classic, the 33.40 is not the worst. But again, last time truly to buy was when we were down here at 23. You could have dang near doubled your money. So I'd be patient on Ethereum Classic. And guys, if you don't like what I'm saying, again, I'm trying to promote that you don't chase the market, because when you chase the hype, chase the pumps, it's a good way to get wrecked and to see red for a while. And then you're either going to be holding bags for a while and your patience is going to be tested, or you're going to sell at a lower price and just give money away. So don't do that either. Next, let's take a look at Stellar Lumens. Which one do we want to look at here? Here we go. I have a chart on that one. So Stellar Lumens, it's kind of concerning that we have a lower high in here. Yeah, and we're getting red on the daily, so it looks like maybe it's going to come back down to this 12-cent range. In the last 5 days, what's it done? Man, look at this. Went up to near 16 cents, wicked down to 11.5 cents. Something to be mindful of with some of these 2017 coins. I've seen this with others where, at least the last bull run, that some coins did not get as high as they did before. This chart only goes back so far, so you might have to look at some other charts. But there are a lot of altcoins that did not go up as high as before. Do know, guys, that if you're buying into an altcoin, there's no guarantee it's going to return to its prior all-time highs of 46 to 70 some cents. So keep that in mind. 3 more. AVE. Yes, similar to Stellar Lumens, we had a buy signal down here at the 88. I would be more patient, and if you really like AVE, I'd wait till at least 96 personally, but did wick above this 236, but yeah, I'd look for it to settle around 98.7 at the least. Tezos, so man, Tezos looking pretty good. This one I remember we talked about how it was just going up nice and steady on this 45-degree angle. Look at that. We had a weekly sell signal, came down a little bit, then another buy, and if you would have caught this one right under $1, man, you would have made 30-some%. So Tezos still bullish on the RSI, still looking good. Maybe it'll come back down here to the 382 at $1.16. And if you really like Tezos, that might give you an opportunity to get in. Comp. Hope you guys notice I'm trying to go quicker in my videos and not go on my long diatribe, soliloquies as much. So comp, same thing, gone up. Maybe I'd be willing to be patient here at 72 or 62. Wait for a sell signal to play out. Wait for some red, on the weekly to play out. Even if you get rid of these buy-sell signals, wait for some red, let the red play out, and then wait on one of the next greens, okay? And who knows, maybe comp will come back down to this $63 range and you can get in some there. So again, guys, just a recap, when we zoom way out on Bitcoin, woo, when we zoom way out, we have these 3 tops here. And we recently did make an all-time high, but are we going to fight back through there and stay there? You can see that there were some massive sell orders and shorts as a barrier right at that all-time high spot. So it's going to take a lot to blast through that all-time high. Is that going to happen anytime soon? And I know technically, yes, we did make new all-time highs. At least it shows here on the chart. Is it going to happen soon? I don't know. I'm not trying to get too much in the prediction game, but do know that it's going to take a lot to get there. And also, something else I've talked about is we have the halving coming up. That's these white lines. we usually have these big sell events around the halving. And I know that doesn't look like much, but it's about 40%. And I guess we can end it on the rainbow chart. So these blue lines, those are the halvings. I'll finish with this. Shuttle blockchaincenter.net. We had the basically fire sale zone. We're in the lowest zone at the first halving. Second halving, we moved up a zone. And this is on a log scale, so that's why it goes up factor of tens. And then third halving, we were in the accumulate zone. I've said a lot that I've wondered, are we going to be in the still cheap zone at the fourth halving, which is around the 22nd? That would put us between 52.5 and 69K. We are right in there. So should we stay in there or come back down and stay in there? Maybe. But if I had to guess, I think because Bitcoin has been so green on the candles lately, I mean, look at this. At least on I'm way back there. At least on the weekly, look how much green we've had. Since September 18th, we've only had 2 weeks we've been red. That's ridiculous. And on the daily, let's see if we go back to September. So in here, September 23rd, I think I said. Look, not a lot of red, very little, and especially lately on the daily. So guys, just law of averages, we're due for a little bit of red, a little correction. That's not bad. Like I said, if you're not more excited about something you like in crypto being at a lower price and that you're going to buy more, then you probably shouldn't be investing into it. I'm going to be straight and blunt with you, because otherwise you're gambling. And last thing I'm going to show you, not trying to discourage you guys, but I am trying to help you not get wrecked and lose your money, because that's not what I'm trying to promote on this channel. I don't do this for any money. I genuinely have been able to make some money with some of these psychology practices. I do have a lot of knowledge, experience, and have consulted plenty of years in the field of psychology. I've used that to my benefit when investing, just trying to pass some of that on, that it's more of a mindset. You have to check your biases. So we talked about this yesterday. Every time we hit this trend line, this is the market cap dominance of Tether. When we ride the trend line, that tends to be a new top. And again, when that'll coincide with Bitcoin dominance tanking. As Bitcoin dominance tanks, that's when the alts run parabolically, when it tanks. If all of a sudden Bitcoin dominance comes up here and then it's a sea of red, then yes, that is probably the end of the new cycle. So when it tanks, Tether dominance. When we bounced off, that was the 2019 mid-cycle top. When we bounced off, that was the top right before the COVID dump. When we rode up this line, that was that first top in Bitcoin. Here. When we were riding up that line. And then when we bounced off, that was the second Bitcoin top. So what is this? Is this a late mid-cycle top? I don't know. We'll see. Only time will tell. The one thing that leads me to believe that, in a bullish scenario is that look how much the RSI spiked down right now. It would still need to play out and come up for a while to truly bounce off of this. And as I've looked in the past, you can see the RSI, it can violently come up to the overbought region, and that signals it was a brief top. But here, if we're chopping around for a few months, staying under the 50, then that's very bullish. Again, if we're bouncing up above the 50, if we're bouncing up above the 50, then it tends to be bearish. The one thing giving me hope that maybe we are getting near the end of this cycle of crypto, that maybe we only have months left, is that we're way down here. But if this gets above this 50 line, then I would be either waiting to buy more, selling. It depends where we're at. Even if this is a mid-cycle top, I'm just going to hold and buy more when the monthly and the weekly signals give me the go-ahead. So anyways, that's going to do it for today on the altcoins and crypto available on Robinhood. Be careful, guys. We are in very unique territory. If you are new, you are gambling. And I try to promote patience and simplify investing. These are complex times. And if you haven't had time in the market to buy within the last 2 years, when we were accumulating, you are taking a big risk here. So just know that if you do buy in and you're looking to buy in now, here's the last thing I'm going to say before leaving you. You want to sell before we get to the top. Have blockchaincenter.net, have this rainbow chart. Look at it every day. Have it on your computer in a tab. You do not want to sell after we go roll over. If you sell after we roll over, I promise you, many of the alts you have are going to tank. Not all of them. Some alts did get to higher highs here, but a lot of the alts I saw, if you didn't sell it near the top, at the top, then they went down big here. More than the price they were here. Same here. Like there was altcoins right after it tanked. They're at lower prices than they were when you got them down here. So if you are getting in now, you need to be ready to sell sooner than later. I don't try to promote trading at all. Not financial advice, but that's what's happened the last couple of times. Altcoins are very volatile. If you're going to buy any, have an exit plan, have a number or set of numbers to take out a certain amount, certain percentage. Okay? And obviously don't invest what you can't afford to lose because this is a risky game. So hope you guys enjoyed the video. Hope you all being safe with your investments and your hard-earned money. Take care, everyone. Have a great week. Bye-bye.